You know that feeling when you're the outsider in a room full of folks who think they know your story better than you do. Like the one time back in 23 at Fort Bragg, this quiet kid named Emily Harper showed up for basic, fresh-faced, but carrying ghosts nobody could see. Her bunkmates, these loudmouth jarheads from the Midwest, they spotted that sprawling ink across her shoulders during a gear check, thought it was some artsy rebel phase, a map of ex-boyfriends, or whatever, and started razzying her hard. Hey, Tinkerbell, you get that in a Vegas blackout? Looks like you doodled your high school crushes on a world map. Emily just zipped her shirt, bit her lip till it whitened, because to her, those swirling lines weren't doodless, they were grid points from Fallujah, Iraq. 15, etched for the 5 brothers she dragged out of a collapsed safe house before the whole op went black, buried under red tape so deep even her DD 214 came back scrubbed clean. And man, that night on the range, under a moonless sky that swallowed everything but the stink of cordite and regret, those laughs turned to something sharper, like they could smell the lie in her silence, and it pissed them off more. Picture it pitch black out there, floodlights off for the no-light qual, boots churning mud into soup as the platoon lines up, hearts hammering like they're waiting for the devil himself to call bingo. Sergeant Reyes, this grizzled vet with a mustache that could hide a grenade, paces the line, barking, "Eyes front, mags in, or I'll make you run this till your grandkids hate you." The others are fumbling click-clack of safeties flipping wrong, breaths coming in ragged gasps. One guy, Tommy from Ohio, damn near drops his M4 trying to rack the bolt, swearing under his breath like it's personal. But Emily? She's off to the side, kneeling slow, scooping a palmful of that wet earth, letting it sift through her fingers, feels the damp weight, gauges the crosswind whispering from the east at maybe 5 knots, adjusts her sights without a twitch, inhales deep for 4, holds, exhales slow like she's whispering back to those Fallujah nights where one wrong breath meant dust in your lungs forever. Reyes catches it, stops mid-stride, his boots squelching, thinks, wait, this ain't no F&G. Her hands move like they've ghosted a trigger 1,000 times, fluid, no waste, like she's dancing with the rifle instead of wrestling it. The platoon senses it too, those side eyes turning from smirks to squints, the air thickening not just with powder, but with that uneasy what the hell vibe. Because if she's playing pretend, why's her calm, making us all feel like amateurs? Then the whistle cracks, failure to fire drill, the gut punch special, every rifle jamming on cue, dry clicks echoing like bad jokes in a funeral parlor. Chaos erupts. Tommy's yanking his bolt so hard it smokes. Another kid from Jersey slams his stock into the dirt yelling son of a, faces red as brake lights. Panic sweat mixing with the rain starting to spit down. Emily doesn't flinch, doesn't even blink, just drops to a knee. Left hand steady on the mag well. Right thumbing the release clean. Pops the chamber like it's a beer cap. Clears the dummy round in 10 seconds flat. Reloads, shoulders up, and squeezes. Bang, one clean crack rips the night. The pop-up at 150 yards snaps back like it offended her personally, silhouette crumpling into the void. The range goes dead, not a cough, not a curse, just that hanging echo and 50 pairs of eyes drilling into her back. The laughs from earlier curdling into something like awe laced with envy. Because damn, if that wasn't rookie nerves she just shrugged off, what fresh hell is she hiding? Reyes folds his arms, nods once, that's his version of a standing ovation, and mutters low to his radio man. Kid's got sand in her veins. Or ghosts. Emily lowers the barrel, wipes a streak of mud from her cheek. No grin, no fist pump, just that quiet exhale, eyes distant like she's seeing Fallujah's rubble again. The weight of those 5 lives pressing on her chest heavier than any ruck. Break time hits like a mercy kill, platoon slumping against sandbags, chugging water from canteens that taste like plastic and defeat, the rain picking up to a fine mist that blurs the red safety lights into bloody halos. Emily shrugs off her wet blouse, nothing showy, just to let her skin breathe, and there it is again, that ink catching the glow. Petals of a desert rose, yeah, but woven in the thorns, those tiny lat-long scratches, 33.35 north, 43.78 east, Fallujah 15, the op that never happened on paper, where her squad got ambushed in a market trap, IEDs blooming like fireworks gone wrong, and she, embedded intel analyst turned ghost in the fight, hauled those boys out one by one, her own legs shredded by shrapnel. She still feels ache on rainy days like this. Tommy, still smarting from his jam, leans over to his buddy Jack's big farm boy from Nebraska with a chip on his shoulder the size of a silo and snickers low. Coordinates to her weed spot, or maybe it's a treasure map to why she's slumming it here. But Reyes is closer, his flashlight beam drifting accidental-like, lands on those numbers and freezes his jaw ticks. Because he was there, 15, pulled out early but heard the whispers. They shadow op, that costs 6, hushed up to save some brass's ass. Rumors of a woman who vanished after, no trace, no medal, just a redacted file and a promotion that never came. He steps up, voice gravelly but soft, like he's handling nitro. Harper. Those marks. Fallujah. Emily pauses mid-zip, meets his eyes hers steady, shadowed and says, flat as desert pan. Files miss the fine print, Sarge. They always do. No more. No plea. Just that line hanging like smoke, and Reyes backs off with another nod. But inside he's reeling if she's the ghost who saved his rotation's flank without a whisper. Why's she back here eating shit from greenhorns? The platoon catches the shift, murmurs rippling like aftershocks. Jax mutters to Tommy, dude, if that's real. We just ragged on Rambo's sister, and Emily feels it. That familiar coil in her gut, the old war between proving too much and saying too little, because spilling it all means dragging those ghosts into the light, and some lights burn wrong. Dawn creeps in grudging, turning the range from black hole to bruised purple, dew heavy on the brass casings like tears nobody shed. The boys are fried sore shoulders, egos bruised worse but Jax and his crew. Those 4 clowns who'd been leading the tattoo roast all week, they can't let it lie. It's jealousy now, pure and petty, Jax especially. Cause his old man was a lifer who washed out of Ranger school, left the family with stories but no pride. And here's Emily, this city girl from Seattle with ink that screams legend, stealing his thunder without even trying. They block her path to the chow line, shoulders bumping like linebackers, Jax spitting gravel in his drawl. All right, Ink Queen, you got lucky last night, wind, shadows, whatever. Prove it ain't smoke. Us 4 against you. Pop-ups at 75 to 250. Fastest clean hits wins breakfast brag rights. Or you eat crow with that fairy tale on your back. Emily stops, rain dripping from her brim. Feels the platoon circle loose behind Reyes watching from the tree lean, arms crossed like he's betting on the underdog. She tilts her head, a ghost of a smile cracking her lips. First humor she's shown, dry as bone. Crow sounds good with coffee, Jax. But all right, boys ladies first. They laugh, nervous bark, safety snick off, whistle tweets, and it's on. Jax and his pack blaze away first, frantic pops chewing air. One nicks a target at 100, but the rest stand defiant. Bullets whining wide, cause haste, is the devil's playground. Emily breathes in for the count of the ghosts she couldn't save, out for the ones she did, shoulders smooth, sights kissing her cheek, and bang 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 bang. 5 echoes blurring into one thunder roll, targets folding like cheap suits at a tailor's fire sale, all down in 12 seconds flat. The mud goes quiet, Jax's rifle sagging, face paling under the freckles as he stares at the hole's clean centers. No flinch, and chokes out, holy shit. You're not human. Emily racks her slide casual, meets his eyes with that deep water stare. Nah, just human enough to know when to shut up and shoot straight. No gloat, but the hilarity hits the platoon, snorts turning to guffaws. Tommy slapping Jax's back too hard, and Reyes chuckles low. The sound like distant thunder, because in that moment, Emily's not just winning. She's rewriting the room, turning poison laughs into reluctant cheers, though inside her chest tightens, wondering if this proof's just buying time till the next ghost knocks. But ghosts don't wait for coffee. 2:47 a.m. 3 nights later, the klaxon rips through the barracks like God's own hangover, red strobes painting walls bloody, as boots hit floor in a thunder of confusion, shouts overlapping breach. Drill? What the foo? Recruits piling out half-dressed, eyes wild. Reyes is already geared, barking crisp over the whale. Storage bay move, this ain't playtime. Emily's beside him in seconds, vest snug, tack light humming on her carbine, no questions, just that instinctive stride, because alarms like this, they echo Fallujah's first boom. the one that taught her to trust gut over brass. They hit the armory annex, screens flickering green grids of lockers too neat, too still, and while the others gawk at the all-clear logs, Emily's scanning the fine print, serial strings in the corner glitching subtle, one off by a digit, like a heartbeat skipping. She cross-checks the manifest flash beam slicing paper and freezes. Sarge. Crate 7, Bravo's ghosted. Swapped log sits not where it says. Reyes leans in, breath catching that's his baby. The vault holding enough M4S and 5.56 to arm a platoon, and a ghost crate means thieves walk their own halls. No time for doubt. They bolt to the yard, shadows leaping under emergency glows, air thick with diesel ghosts, and that metallic tang of fierce sweat. Emily leads, beam carving paths through steel tombs, spots the skid fresh tire ghosts in the gravel, still warm under her palm like a fevered brow moved hot minutes ago. Inside job, clean bypass on the E-lock, no smash and grab mess. They crack the vault, empty slots mocking them. A dozen rifles vanished, ammo crates lighter by a brick or two, not enough for headlines, but plenty for a black market flip or worse, a grudge-turned bullet. Reyes growls low, "Who the hell?" But Emily's already tracing oil sheen on the floor, mind flashing to Jax's sidelong glares. His old man's bitterness tails around the fire pit. Turns out, farm boy's uncle ran security here once, got cashiered for inventory errors, family grudge simmering till it boiled over into this petty heist, payback on the system that chewed him up. She whispers it fierce. It's Jack saw him eyeing the logs yesterday, muttering about debts owed. We corner him now, before he fences it off base. The chase turns cinematic, rain sheeting down now, turning the perimeter fence into a silver cage as they fan out. Reyes radioing quiet locks while Emily ghosts the tree lean, carbine low, heart sinking to the storm's pulse. Jax bolts from the motor pool, duffel slung heavy, silhouette frantic under sodium lamp, slips on mud, curses loud. Back off. Harper, you don't know shit. But she's on him like Fallujah fog, beam pinning his eyes, voice steel-wrapped silk. Drop it. Jax, those ghosts on my back? They taught me spots like this, where rats run last. Your uncle's beef ain't worth the bars you'll eat. He whirls, wild-eyed, duffel spilling brass like guilty tears, snarls through rain-lashed face. System screwed him, screwed us all. You waltz in with your hero ink, playing saint, but you're just another ghost they forgot. Why shouldn't I take what's mine? The shot's hers, not live, just a warning crack into the dirt at his feet, echo hushing the storm, and he folds, knees hitting gravel with a wet smack, defeat cracking his bravado like cheap ice. Reyes hauls him up rough, cuffs biting, mutters to Emily, "You see what we miss every damn time." And in that glare, it's more than thanks, it's the nod to her erased valor, the quiet, welcome home she never got. Platoon rolls in slow after, lights sweeping the scene, faces shifting from shock to that hard-won respect. Tommy clapping her shoulder, tentative, "Ink Queen. Nah, you're the real deal." And Emily feels the coil unwind a notch, rain washing the ink's edges, but inside, the ghosts murmur, saving the day, don't erase the night it broke you. Dawn breaks grudging over the quad, steam rising from puddles like unanswered prayers, the armory sealed tight again, Jackson holding spilling beans to the MPs about grudges that fester, quiet till they don't. Emily stands apart on the catwalk, rifle slung loose, watching the platoon form up below. No more walls, just nods her way, the tattoo peeking at her collar, no longer punchline but talisman. Reyes sidles up, coffee steaming in his mug, voice low and wry. "Ain't the ink makes the fight, Harper, it's the why behind it." She sips from her own, steam curling like Fallujah smoke, replies soft, "Reminds me of the whys that didn't make it home. Keeps me showing up." They share the quiet, that rare bass dawn hush where birdsong fights the hello hum. And for a beat, it's enough proof that scars don't just mark. They map the roads back to who you fight for. But as the horn blows assembly, Emily catches a shadow in the wire, another crate log flickering on a distant screen. Jax's spill half the tale, whispers of brass higher up pulling strings for their own ghosts, and she wonders, chest tightening again, if peeling one layer just invites the dark deeper. Is the system's rot skin deep, or does it burrow till it claims another ghost like her? Hell, In a world where heroes get redacted and grudges arm the innocent, who's really holding the line? Alright, folks, if that twist hit you square, like it did me spinning this yarn from those dusty after-action whispers, drop a comment. Was Jax just a punk settling scores? Or does the Real villain wear stars on their shoulders? Ever seen a grudge turn a brother against the squad, or hell, in your neighborhood, that HOA busybody weaponizing bylaws like IEDs? Share your take. Tag a buddy who's fought their own ghosts. Smash that like if Emily's got you rethinking your own ink visible or not, and subscribe with the bell. 'Cause part 2's brewing, where her Fallujah file cracks wide and the brass comes calling. What's your line in the sand? Let's hash it.